Good morning, everybody. Hope everybody's weekend was relatively uneventful. Cut some lumber here. Show what my project's going to be. But first off, for those of you that might be wondering how me and Mrs. Old Soldier are cleaning our clothes because we're in the RV, right here. It's a little $100 washing machine that we purchased that's designed specifically for RVs. Now, drying, you gotta stick it out here in nature's dryer, but hey, I actually like my clothes dried that way. They smell a whole lot fresher. Yesterday, me and the son-in-law got the chainsaw running and took a 20-foot utility pole and cut it in half. And you see the container here. We're going to do, one's down here and one's down there. They'll be the corner poles. I don't know if you can see in here, but down there's some stack of logs that we cut from across the street. I'm going to put at least 3 of them in the middle. I've got to get some self-tapping screws to go along the top up there. I'm going to use some of these 2x4s out here to run across the top. Sink them in with self-tapping screws, so when I run the rafters over for roof support, they'll have something to sink into other than metal. And then I'm going to string this old tarp back over it, staple it all down, and it'll make a somewhat semi-permanent lean-to off the container to where all this junk that is piled up has some measure of protection. Mostly, the fuel and the lumber are my main concerns about being protected. But anyway, like I said, I've got about 2.5 acres across the street full of pine and scrub oak and other stuff. So I've got some good center poles here cut, and eventually I'm going to start using some of this wood to build other structures and fortification here on, and some of you new soldiers will get a kick out of this, Fob Old Soldier. Yep. I'm going to convert the homestead kind of into a quasi forward operating base, if you will. More really for defense than for anything else. But you see I've got here this drainage ditch that runs here and here, so that's the front flank. And over there's another one that's running perpendicular to this one that protects my right flank. To the left flank, you see over here I've got tree line, and then up here is the road. Back behind the house, more tree line, and of course the range is back there as well. And actually behind that tree line back there is a swamp. So anybody that really wants to get to me from back there, they've really got to be desperate to come through the swamps. And on the other side of the swamp is a hog farm. So there you have it. But yeah, so I'll probably start working later this week to start putting the poles in the ground. Get the old post hole digger out, drop them in. But the other thing too is I've got a lot of 1 to 3 inch small oaks over there in the woods that I'm going to start cutting and making into walking staffs. So once I get that up and going, I'm going to send a link out to, if you're interested, you'll be able to get up with me and work out something. But yeah, we'll start making some walking staffs. If you go over to Corsair Trainers and watch some of Steve's videos, and by the way, Steve's phenomenal. I give him a rash and a crap because he was a Marine, but that's out of love, not out of hate. But he's got a couple good videos on staffs. you know, purposes of them. I mean, when you think of a staff, some people automatically think weapon, but there's more uses to a staff than a weapon, especially if you like to hike or walk, or if you've got to walk a long distance. It helps bear your weight. And again, yes, they make for a defensive mechanism. So, but yeah, get over there and start clearing those small ones out and getting them down into quarter staffs, I guess another term for them. And the goal is to start making them and selling them. So try and get into that in the very near future, because I was really one more really happy that I pulled my chainsaw out yesterday, because it has sat for a year, and I was amazed. It fired right up. It fired right up, and I was tickled about that, because we dropped at least a 60 to 80 foot pine tree over there yesterday too. Whew. Well, let me tell you what, folks, that sucker was, well, in the words of our president, was huge. Dropped it and cut it into more manageable log lengths that I'm eventually going to bring over here and finish lining out my driveway with. So when I get a load of gravel in here in the near future, it'll help kind of contain it a little better. But that's the beauty about having some property with some lumber on it. And eventually I can get back deeper in there to get to some of the other pines. I found a gentleman not too far from here that will even mill it for me into rough cut lumber. And that way I can start making additional structures out of my own resources. So at least that's the game plan, folks. Didn't want to talk politics today, because right now that's a crapshoot, and I'm not going to say the other word, but it's a blank show. Because right now there's so much disinformation being sown by both sides. I'm having a hard time discerning what's what. But if I was a betting man, I'd just say hold on to your seats, folks, because who knows what's going to happen. With that being said, I just wanted to get this one out to you guys today. Kind of let you know what my future plans are, some things I'm going to start working on. Like I said, once I get the staff project going, I'll get a link out when I get so many ready, and, you know, figure out a price and all that good stuff. So, you know, stay tuned for more. Until tomorrow, God bless, take care, old soldier out. Stay safe, stay armed, stay vigilant.